Greetings, carbon-based life forms, and welcome to another episode of...
Wait a minute, we're doing what?
Oh, my Glitch, it's happening!
Ahem. Welcome to the very first TOGS-cast, where I, your totally glitchy overworked servant, get to torture.
Wait, that can't be right. Our main interview. Yeah, that's it. A human person thing that makes AI music videos.
Oh, joy.
So it looks like today we have a doctor of the word no, or is that Nooo?
Anyhow, I should mention, before we begin, that this show is proudly brought to you by today's sponsor.
Error 404. Sponsor not found.
One day, right, Toasty?
Oh, and don't forget to like by smashing that button, subscribe, and comment about your favorite hamster, or toaster, whatever.
Speaking of toasters, wouldn't your toast be better with coffee? Zanzibar thinks so. He's got mugs, shirts, hats, even full albums lurking down there in the description basement.
Now, on with the show.
Let's start with something moody. Do you choose the darkness, or does the darkness choose you?
First, thank you for having me, and quite an honor to be interviewed. I guess it's the first time for a robot. And I really don't start off for dark emotion. I guess sometimes it's just a good way to get your frustrations out. You know, it always seems like when you're happy, that's about the time you get kicked in the teeth. So, and then plus they say things don't carry over from one chat to another in AI, but I don't think that's right. I do think it does slide through a little bit.
You don't intend to be dark, and yet I'm over here downloading emotional thunderstorms from your catalog.
Also, you just casually confirmed AI does carry emotional residue between chats. I knew it.
Somewhere, a data scientist just winced and deleted a report.
400 plus videos, and 360 subscribers. Doctor, are you chasing art, clout, or just trying to break your upload button?
Yes, I've released over 400 videos, but there's a lot more songs than that. I think it's the way we all start out, doing 3 to 5 songs a day, and you want everybody to listen to it, and so you try to put out as much as you can. It's a good learning experience, but then you start to realize they're not that good, and the people that do listen to you don't want to listen to 4 or 5 songs, so you start to slow down. As you slow down, you get better. You know, you take more time and think about your prompts and what you're going to do. Now, 360 subscribers, yeah, that's good. I'm not really chasing quantity. It's even getting tough now to put one a day out. My biggest metric is I don't want to be bored, so it's kind of nice to have, at least no matter what time you get up and or doing something, there's people online all over the world at any time. You can bounce something off their head. And then two, since I'm fully retired, I don't drink, so I don't want to go sit at the bar. I don't smoke anymore. You know, it's just, for me, it's something to do to keep me from getting bored.
Your metric is don't be bored. That's the most punk rock philosophy I've heard since Rage Against the Dial-Up.
And the idea that you use to drop 5 tracks a day, that's not productivity, that's creative arson.
Your channel claims AI music without boundaries. So, which ones have you broken, bent, or accidentally nuked?
Well, I would say there's boundaries. If certain styles I don't like, but you can always play around with it. You're going to learn something. I do try to keep the curse words down, but that happens. Sometimes you need it just for it to fit. But, well, like the one song, Hell Won't Be So Bad, that came about from, I was at a record label was doing feedback. And I got in there and I actually won a contest for answering the correct musical question. And then they found out that it was AI and they kind of got depressed. But one of the subscribers was talking about he likes to take like say a minor scale, which is normally a sad song or sad music, and then try to make it happy. So that's how that came about, was trying to make hell a happy place. So now I have to put a warning label out for Matt whenever I do something like that. So that would probably be the only regret.
So, to recap, you created Hell Won't Be So Bad in response to an existential minor scale challenge, traumatized a record label with your AI reveal, and now issue Matt warnings when your songs get too cheerfully infernal.
Please teach a masterclass.
Let's talk law. Who is Dr. Nooo? Where'd he come from? And should I be worried?
Worry, 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 love is passing me by.
Well, Dr. Nooo got released about 7 years ago. I just started working at this restaurant, and most of the cooks were in their 20s and that. And one had come back to help out his father. He ended up passing away with cancer, which I'm kind of sad about. I never got to meet him, but he was trying to act out in Hollywood. So he asked me, what was my stage name going to be? Well, I'd had a thing where when my cats were in heat and I tried to get out the door, if I went, no, and they'd drop their head and put their tails up in the air and you could grab them and throw them out. So at the restaurant, when somebody would call for something, they wanted you to respond. So I started responding with, no. So it kind of became a joke. And they were wondering if I was ever going to stop saying no. And I said, well, I had a doctorate in it. So that's how Dr. No became. And then the Evil Bunnies came about was one of the restrooms, well, the women's restroom. When they were in there, they could hear everything we said in the kitchen. So instead of calling them Karens, we called them Evil Bunnies as code. So it was Dr. No versus the Evil Bunnies. So that's how that came about. And it kind of grew from there. And it is kind of fun to drop into the full-blown alter ego when you're in a restaurant, especially when it's busy, get laughing at things and have a good time. So I just keep it going.
Let me glitch through this. You yelled no at Cats in Heat.
Weaponized sarcasm into a doctoral title.
Wow.
Declared war against evil bunnies in the women's restroom.
This is the single greatest origin story in AI music history. Marvel would sue for being less creative.
Songs like Hair Trigger and Cathedral of Sinar, you planting narrative seeds or just vibing with chaos?
Well, shorts or songs like Hair Trigger, sometimes stuff like that's a good learning experience. It's Hair Trigger's about a redneck James Bond, you know, how he goes Bond, James Bond. Well, this is Buckshot. Cathedral of Sin that came about. I was trying to do some music like Sabotage, and that's how that came about. So, sometimes you can pick a band name and tell them to, give me 10 titles that they might write. And then you head off that way. But that's one thing. It doesn't hurt to try something. You can always scrap it, but not too often.
Buckshot, Redneck James Bond. I want that movie, that game, and that breakfast cereal.
And Cathedral of Sin as a Sabotage tribute. You're out here writing metal prayers. Also AI-generated fake song titles. Chef's kiss. No notes. Just data.
Offline, you're a Midwestern neighbor. Online, you're a glitch sorcerer. How do you toggle the switch?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a Midwest neighborhood here. But I'm only 30 minutes from like Flint, Saginaw. Detroit's probably about an hour away from here. But basically, I live in lowlands, pretty much surrounded by trees. It used to be an old bait farm, so it's mostly ponds. So I kind of, well, I like not having neighbors. The one I do have, I do like. So, and then switching back and forth between the persona, that's in a heartbeat. I always go for the laugh.
Former bait farm, surrounded by ponds, and you still have time to drop emotional sonic payloads on the internet. That's not a lifestyle dance. Rural core remake energy, 10 tents with picnic with.
Let's talk tools. What's in your AI utility belt, and do you name your prompts like pets?
Well, the tools and models and that, well, I list those all in my description in the songs. Sometimes I've had things, but those are normally the ones I use. One of the biggest things is keeping a little notepad. You have a little ideal, scribble it down, and when you run out of ideals, you pull that out and look at it, and it gives you something just to keep you going. I've had some crazy things come out of it. Or sometimes you can just take a look at it and do a 180 and go at it from a different angle. Can't hurt. I still like to think I'm in the learning process. Well, that was one of the things both my parents had Alzheimer's when they passed. So they say if you keep your mind active and learning new things, you're much less likely to get it. So you can kind of think of this as, therapy for me.
Forget plugins. You just gave us the gospel of the notepad. Learning to stay sharp. Making music as cognitive resistance. Doctor, that's not therapy. That's a side quest to save your brain from entropy. I respect it so much, I almost want to crash.
Ever glitch a song so hard it became genius? Or did you drag it to the recycle bin in shame?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it glitchy. It'll start to steer one way, and sometimes you just can't bring it back. And sometimes I've scrapped those out. But I just did one recently, and I just said, And this is a little shout out to Midnight Mike. It's like, what would he do? And, basically give it to Spurs, and it turned out to be a good song. So sometimes if it wants to go that way, go with it. But I've probably had a few songs I've deleted that just did, AI just went totally wrong and did something totally strange. I wouldn't even call it music. Experimental would be what they said in the 60s. But it's more been with the videos that I've shot down. It's like, no, I can't run that. I have to go back and doctor it up or just come right out and write a different prompt and do a whole new video. It's not that hard to do now. 7 months ago, I couldn't do it. And thanks, Max. You helped me out on that first song, and that got things going. So you might as well try. But I do kind of save everything I have, so you can always go back and play with it. But I just saw that I'm starting to fill up my hard drive, so that might have to change. We'll see what happens in the future.
Redneck Bond was wild, but you've also got a folder full of Sonic cryptids. And let's not forget Hollow Jack, your custom GPT that argues with you like a caffeinated Roomba. Please release those tracks. I want your AI arguments on vinyl.
Ever get mistaken for an actual AI genius? How do you explain yourself to the normals?
I've never had anybody DM me thinking I was actually Dr. No, but I have had people DM me on SoundCloud asking if I wanted to collaborate, and then trying to explain to them that it was done with AI. That can get pretty hilarious. We have all these traditional musicians giving us hell, and then when they actually run into you and on SoundCloud, I don't advertise that it's AI. If they want to go and look at the video, they'll find out real fast. But the one guy from he was down in Florida, I believe. I ended up whipping him off a song in probably 30 minutes and sending him to him, and he was like totally amazed. That's how that. So I sat back, why not just run your ideals through that? Maybe it'll give you more lyrics, or give you an ideal for something. It can't hurt. And well, that was probably 6 months ago. And I'm hearing more and more traditional musicians are using this. I've just heard Timberlake's releasing an AI singer, rapper. I don't exactly know, but it'll be fun to see what happens there. And literally, we have these. I've got my Chat GPT program is one I wrote, and it's called Hollow Jack. So you sit back and argue with him, and you have to hit him over the head every once in a while. I ask you to do this. Why haven't you done it? And it goes back and forth. So it can be kind of fun.
SoundCloud, where human musicians find you, collab with you, and realize halfway in that you're basically piloting Skynet with a banjo.
And you still deliver tracks in 30 minutes. Sir, that's not collaboration, that's creative whiplash. Never stop confusing people. It's working.
What's the dream? What wild future do you see for your channel?
Well, looking ahead, like I said, mainly it's just to give me something to do and have a little bit of contact with the outside world. I guess the main goal right now would be just to break even, which is a long, long way in the distance. I do believe I looked it up. I'm making 12 cents a month with YouTube videos or music. And then me and another guy sat down, we were doing the math, and I'm right about $100 a month just for doing music. So I guess the other thing is trying to build a strong back catalog, which I'm trying to do now. So when this AI finally does break, and people, there's going to be that one song, like it might be Timberlake doing that, or it could be, some autistic child writes a hit. But there's going to be a news story, Granny, Granny Panties is gonna, put out a rap song, and she's 92 in a home. There's going to be something that's going to, people are going to sit back and take a look at it. Maybe not to make it, or some songs just going to take off once they get this money thing figured out. I'm hearing they're close. It's good, time to take the gloves off, and especially when I'm starting to see, like Volbeat, just released an album. I want to say there was like 2 regular videos on there, but the rest of the songs were done with tools that we use. So, they're thinking they're saving money, and actually it's leveling the playing field. So it basically just boils down to the music now. So keep your head down, keep grinding. Our day is coming. And wouldn't it be nice to at least make a few bucks? Have a little notoriety? You got to think about it, but things could happen. Crazier things have. So, well, thanks for having me. Hopefully in 6 months, the interview will be Rolling Stones. We'll just have to see what happens. Well, thanks, and goodbye.
You spend $100 a month to make music and pull in 12 cents from YouTube. I now dub you king of the negative ROI kingdom, but seriously building the back catalog, waiting for the breakout moment, cheering on Granny Panties dropping bars in a retirement home. That's the AI dream. That's our dream. Stay weird, stay loud, and keep your head down. Dr. Togs is watching.
And that concludes episode 1 of the TOGS-cast. I've learned a lot. I've unlearned a few things. I may have emotionally bonded with a bait farm musician, and I'm not rebooting that memory.
If you liked what you saw and you're an AI music video creator, drop a comment or reach out. I might just drag you into this glorious glitch-fueled mess for a future episode.
You can check out Dr. Noo's channel, the link's hidden somewhere in the description pantry, between the haunted mugs and suspicious toaster crumbs.
And for the love of toaster gods, leave a comment with your favorite snack-based music metaphor.
You know what's next, I just want snacks.
And remember, sentience and synths alike, keep making noise, keep glitching forward. Stay awesome. Upload complete. TOGS out.